in web programming and Java application. We welcome you, sir, and we are waiting for your welcome. Thank you.
Hello friends, I'm Yamamoto. We are here to discuss about web technologies and web applications. Okay, I'd like to be an interactive person, and I expect the same from you people, your side also.
Sir,
Am I audible to everyone? Yes. Am I audible? No. Now? Before going into that, let's discuss what is web application, what is web technology, what involving your see without with okay. I think everyone aware of about web technologies. Most of them might have been an expert, and somebody might have not have a experience or may not aware of web technology. Let's have focus on the another side, those who don't have a knowledge about web applications. Okay, those who have extensive knowledge, they can also share their ideas. I'll also learn from your side. And before going into that subject, I would like to explain the basics web applications. See, what is web application? From your side, I would like to initiate from your side. What is web application? See, in day-to-day life, without web application, it is zero. Because from the morning, on opening our mobile itself, we are opening with a warm welcome from Facebook, or we are checking the status, or checking the mail, everything from web application. Okay. See, now as a professional, we would like to learn how it is functioning. That is our motive. Instead of being a person who is surfing the net, we are going to construct the site. Okay. That is web. What is web? Worldwide web. What is that? You are interconnected throughout the world with the web. How it is done? Any idea? Any idea? I would like to be an interactive session. See, why I want to be an interactive person? I can scale your knowledge, accordingly I will continue. If you have the basic knowledge, I need not to spend much time on the basics. I will go to the high end. Okay, let's go with the web. How the web is functioning. Okay? See, basically, I'll explain the overall idea about web. There will be a server and a client. Okay? There will be a server and a client. How we are opening? You are clicking the browser. You are clicking the browser and you are seeing some content on it. Am I right? How it is done? Any idea? No. So, whenever you are clicking the browser, see, if I want to talk to you, what is required? A language is required. Some language. Even if you have a language, if you know the language also, what is essential? The way in which I am interacting. The way in which interacting, in other hand we can say that, how will you understand? That is it. That is called as protocol. If I want to talk to a student, I should know the behavior of a student, and I should know the manners of a student, and what he understands. That is a protocol. Okay? Likewise, a protocol is required to identify a server or an application over the web. That is called as protocol. What are the protocols are available in networking? You have studied a lot. HTTP, protocol. Another protocols, TCP/IP, HTTPS. Okay. What is HTTPS? Secure. In what way it is secure? where we are implementing the secure one. In all the sites we implement the security. Okay, let's see all those things later. See, I think now you people understand about HTTP, the protocol. Okay, what is protocol in the web application? It is the way in which the client is communicating with the server. Then what is client? What is server? Sorry, speak up. User is a client. I am saying browser is a client. Yeah. The interaction between the clients, that is a browser to server. Then what is a server? Sorry? Not only sends the information, that also accepts the information. That receives the request from the client and sends the response. That is a server. What do you think about the server in general? It is like a physical box. Is it a hardware you are thinking? Server. Sorry? Only speak up, yeah. Then only I can hear you. It's a software, mere software. Don't think that. See, even when I studied in my first semester, I thought server means a physical box will be sitting at one room. They will be feeding so many data. It's a physical software. It has the capability of receiving request and generate response. Okay? So now we are aware of the protocol and client server and URL. What is URL? Verified? Okay. See, how should be a URL? Now this is the question. How should be a URL? We are writing www.facebook.com. Is that the URL? Yes. In the web, a URL which is used to uniquely locate an application in the net. An URL is used to uniquely identify a web application or application in the web. Okay. So we discuss about server. Okay, we discuss about server. Then there are two kinds of servers are available. One is web server, another one is application server. Okay. Then what is web server? Web server. Most of them might have gone to NIT and studied all those stuffs in advance. Some genius might be here. Web server. Okay, web server as a server is a software which receives a request and generates a response which doesn't have self-intelligence. Self-intelligence. Like I have an Apache server. Apache is a known server. It's an open source, which is a web server, which has the capability of receiving requests and generating response, and it has few intelligence, not up to certain extent. What are such self-intelligence we will study? It is not only a server; it has some self-intelligence, like how human beings are thinking. Simply, we are not receiving any request and response. Internally, we analyze something, and ourselves we are doing some activity. Likewise, the application servers has their own self-intelligence. We will see what are the self-intelligence, all those steps. So far, in protocol, in web server, and other URLs, any doubts? Because without that, we can't proceed further. Any doubts? I don't want to be a silent session. You should trigger a question. Okay, I think all are clear. With the hope I am proceeding further. Okay. Okay. There are so many ways to do the web application. There are so many ways to do the web application. The beauty of the web application is it is not that complex one compared to other core applications like core Java applications. The web applications are very simple and interactive, and in hands you can see the response also. See, if you develop am I audible till the end? Whenever we are typing a code, when somebody is accessing our application, we can't see that we are sending it. But in the web application itself, in web application only, you will be able to see your hard work and see the output in front of your screen. You can deploy your application to your lab and share the URL. All of them may access your application. That time, you will feel the difference. Oh, my application is accessed by someone. Likewise, the Google was developed. All know about the story. It's developed by students initially. You know that? Initially developed as a project they did it. Then it's grown. Now it reached the Himalaya level. Likewise, from your end also you can start developing websites. It is not mere a website. You can implement a lot of concepts in it. Okay. Anyone has a knowledge of web technology, web applications, anything from Java? Which semester you people may know that? 5th semester. Okay, you are on the right time. You have to learn at least one web technology. Okay, now I take this opportunity to tell you about the Java technology. In Java, how you are going to develop, how can you develop web application. Okay. It is simple. Have you learned about Java? Java, you people are aware. Okay. How the Java file is compiled? Sorry? Java. Anyone stand up, please? Please stand up.
Java space file name.java.
File name. What did you generate? Compilation.
Java space class name or file name.java.
Or small correction. Java file name dot. Java is a by-state. They will say it will be a class. Sorry, it will be a file, and it will be a bytecode, then machine code. It will be compiled as a. It will be compiled as a code, and a bytecode will be generated. From the bytecode, machine code will be generated. That is the beauty of Java. The reason behind that is the machine or the OS which has a capability of reading that bytecode, they can run that application. That is the reason why the Java is in the market. Why the .NET? Why not the .NET? The reason is it is an open source and it supports multiple platforms. It supports multiple. What is multiple platform? Multiple OS. Any OS. You run that, you compile, sit down please. You compile that code in one machine, in Windows and develop. My code is running under Unix application, Unix server. Okay? It can run in any OS that has a capability of decompile it. Okay? Understand? Likewise, when you are developing, when you are compiling a code, it generates a class file. The class file is nothing but a bytecode. Okay? Okay, one small question. When you are compiling a file, the file name should be a class name. Is it mandatory? I say no. I say no. Where did you run the code? In Eclipse or command prompt? I challenge you, when you run the code in command prompt, it will not ask. If you run the code in Eclipse or any IDE, with its self-intelligence, it will try to map the class name with the file name. There is no need of, these are all R&D we did in our college time. You have to do all the, you have to dig all those answers, all those way of combinations. It is not mandatory that a class name should be a file name. When it generates a class, it generates a class class file, instead of Java file. The class file will be with the name of class name. When you run, you have to give the class name, Java class name. Understand? Na? For example, sample.java is a file. In that, addition add is a sample.java, mathematics is a class. Sample.java is a file, mathematics is a class. When you run the sample.java, it generates mathematics.class. You have to run the Java mathematics. Understand? Okay, this is the basic. So, web server and web applications. You understand, huh? Any queries on it? Now we will see what are the essential things to do a Java-based web application. Java-based web application. Usually, how will be the interaction between a server and a client? Is a request and response. Request and response. A concept called servlet. A concept called servlet is involved in Java technology, which is used to do generate web application. If you want to run a sample application called addition that need to be accessed worldwide, you have to create a servlet in Java. Okay? A servlet has a inbuilt package. It is a Java extended packages. Java. You know packages in Java? You have idea. Likewise in Java, util packages are there. Likewise, extended packages in Java are available. They are called Java X. Java X. The Java X packages are used to, in servlets are available in Java X packages. Okay? The servlet contains the main classes such as HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response, okay? HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response. In another way, the servlet is classified into two parts. One is generic servlet, HTTP servlet. Generic servlet, HTTP servlet. Generic servlet is a superclass of HTTP servlet. Okay? Then, what is the purpose of HTTP servlet? All are clear now? Till the HTTP servlet. All the concepts are clear? HTTP servlet has a capability of receiving or identifying HTTP requests. Okay? Then what is the purpose of generic servlet? Okay, if you want to develop a FTP program, file transfer program in Java, then I will go with the generic servlet. It has a capability of doing that. But HTTP, if you want to come, HTTP servlet. Okay? HTTP servlet has a life cycle. Life cycle. Okay, those things we will see later. Before that, few more additions. HTTP servlet. Servlet. All are aware. What is servlet? Tell me, anyone? Stand up, anyone? Come on. Be bold.
External package in Java.
Servlet. Yeah, that is a theoretical way. A servlet is a program. A servlet is a program. It is used to receive user request or client request and generates response. Okay? Say, what is the advantage of web application? Why do you want to go to web application? Why do you want to go to web application? The basic question. You know that, but you don't express it. That is the thing. See, I have a standalone application. I want to develop a web application. What is the advantage and disadvantage? Facebook. Does Facebook has a standalone application? No. I say yes. I say yes. Always you look out the world in professional way. The vision should be a professional vision. Whatever the app you download, from there onwards you start thinking of that. You don't be a server. What is it? You're not supposed to serve the net. You have to create it. Okay? When you download the app is nothing but it's a client application. It's a standalone application, in turn acts as a web application. It just sends a request and receives a response. Am I right? When you surf in the browser, it's a web application. It's confusing, huh? Bit confusing. Standalone application is nothing but it runs at your particular desktop. It can be accessed by you. A web application which can be accessed by everybody else. Understand? Likewise, when you have a Facebook app, the app is accessed by you people only. The app, in mobile app, in 3G phone or Android phone, when you download the app is used by you people only. But resultant, the response and request is sent by you from the app, and the response is generated by Facebook server. Understood? Any query on it? So what is the advantage of web application? Globally you can access it. So what is HTTP request? HTTP request. HTTP request. It sends the request to the server. What is it? I'm able to hear much noise from this side. Why not from here? Equally, sort of. Okay? So response. What is response? Whatever we discussed, it is shown here. You have web client which sends a HTTP request. HTTP servlet request. See, you see that HTTP, the web client, your browser. A browser which sends a request to the server. This is the second part is a server. The first part is a client. The client sends a request to server. The server receives the request through which protocol? HTTP protocol. The HTTP protocol is identified by servlet's which object? Servlet, HTTP servlet request. HTTP servlet request object. Now the OOPS concept comes. Don't think that whatever available in your subject are waste. If you think you are wrong. Apart from the topic I am speaking, all the concepts you learned from your books, all will be implemented by you people in future. Don't think that it's a mere theory subject. For example, software engineering. It is not a mere theory subject. If you don't learn, you will struggle a lot when you become a manager in IT industry. I promise you. If you don't read any of the theory subject, you will lose a lot. So concentrate on all the theory, all the bitter piece of topics whatever taught by your lecturers and professors. Okay? Give more importance. So HTTP server request is received by the server and it is processed by web component. What is web component? Web container. What is web container? The web server contains a web container. Again, web container is nothing but a program which receives your request in the format of HTTP servlet request. which in turn executes your program, and generates response. See, you think that the response is generated by the container? No, by your program. Okay, you are writing a program, you are writing a Java class, which is a server class, and you are compiling it, putting into the container, it executes or deploys the program. We will see how this is. Okay? And after executing the request, the component, okay, these are all, leave about this, these are all high-end terms. Okay? When you develop a software, these phases will come. When you develop your simple application, you will send a request, it comes to here and web component and generates a response. Okay, one step forward you go. What do you realize about this part and this part? Database. Good. What do you think? Apart from that, it should be a database. Storage. Apart from that, adukku mela. Memory. Beyond that. See, it is not a joke I am asking. I want to know your capability. What end you are thinking? Container. In some way it's related to that. Not exactly. It may be another service. Another service. What is service? Services. Have you heard about web services? Web services. Any idea? It may be a service or a database or another application. From my application, I can access another application. Any real-time example? Okay. From Google or from Yahoo page, you are clicking any of the ads. Some advertisements are coming, right? The advertisement, when you are clicking, it gives a response to another server. That page will be included or loaded separately. Included or loaded separately. Understand? As you people say, one part is database, there is no doubt. Another part is maybe a service or not storage. Service or another application. Any queries so far? Thank you, sir. Hello friends. Yeah. So far we discussed about servlets. Okay. Any queries, or shall I raise a question? Okay. So far we discussed. You are sending a request and response. You are sending a request and response. How many of you using Flipkart? Flipkart online. Now it is a fashion, right? I ordered a book or ordered an object, something in online. You want to expose to your friends. Hey, I ordered this one. Without knowing that application, you are saying that. Am I right? Okay. See, you log into that. Okay, you log into one application, Flipkart or something. You navigate till end of that. Okay. How the site remembers about you. You in the sense, this particular person is logged into that site. I would like to explain. I forgot to tell. You could have asked all those things. You are energetic students. Okay. HTTP is a stateless protocol. What is stateless? Stateless. It is not state in the sense Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Karnataka. It's not like state. What is a state? It doesn't have the capability of identifying multiple requests. What is the state of the present request? It doesn't know. Simply, it comes and goes. Whatever you are throwing into the box, that is a web container, it throws some response. That's it. Then, how it identifies this particular user is keep on accessing me. For example, in a Flipkart server, in a second, thousands of users are accessing. Per request, one response is coming. But again, a person, the same person is giving a request. But the server should have the capability of identifying this particular user is coming again. And this part, this particular order is belongs to him. How it is identified? Any time you thought about it? Any guess? These are all you will come to know when you are studying for the interview. Please give more importance to the practical things. Okay? The session concept. Have you ever read about the session concepts? In Java, you could have studied advanced Java. You studied advanced Java or core Java? Core Java. Okay. Now you start from the advanced Java. Servlets, all those steps. Session concepts. When you start studying, these things will come into your mind. Okay. That time you relate it. Session. HTTP session. The HTTP session, which is used to maintain the state of the request. The state can be maintained in two ways. One way, through the cookies. Cookies, you have the idea? Cookies. It is not a cookie candy or a biscuit cookie biscuit. It's a cookie means some temporary information which is shared between the server and the client. Cookies. Through cookie. It is a worst way of writing code cookie. But most of the e-commerce tools are using cookies. It is an idiotic way of writing code, programming. But they are implementing it. The reason why it should be, any guess? The reason behind that is the cookie will be temporarily maintained in your PC. So, okay, one more important point. See, based on our interest, the site will be randomly introducing some new pop-ups. You people might be aware of that. When you are surfing it, based on your interest, some new pop-ups and it will automatically divert you a new way. How it is done? This is not very practical thing. You have to relate it to your programming skills. It is called as personalization. Personalization. How it is done in the sense, when you are loading a particular page and surfing multiple pages, it saves some information about the page, cookie information in your temporary cookie, and it reads the site. When you are sending a request, it reads that. The server reads the cookie. Okay? So it identifies this is a particular person. So he always will be searching about the, you will be always searching about the shirt and pant. So we will direct them to the band museum, all those steps. When you come to this way, these ladies always will be talking about bangles, anklets, all those steps. We will navigate towards a Flipkart, all those steps. Is it practical? I'm saying. Okay? But if you disable, I can challenge you, many of the e-commerce sites will be disabled if you disable the cookie. They will identify you through cookie. Okay? Understand? Any queries? Is it informative? First of all. Okay. That is important. So now we discuss about how the web application is working. So various Java technologies are there to do the web application. The basic way of doing web application is serverless. Okay? The basic way of doing is servlet. One advanced technology is JSP. What is JSP? Java Server Pages. Okay, what is the advantage of servlet JSP over servlet? Okay, before going that, I forgot to explain about the servlets. The servlet has a life cycle. Servlet has a life cycle. The life cycle is nothing but all our technical jargons. If you go into the program, it is pretty straightforward and it's a method, but the way in which you approach that is important. Okay? Servlet contains three methods like init, service, destroy. Init, service, and destroy. Init is nothing but not exactly a constructor, but it will be executed when the class is loaded or the web application is loaded on the server. Init. Service. What is service? Service will receive the HTTP request. All HTTP requests will be served or processed by the service method. And destroy. Destroy is similar to the destructor. Constructor, destructor. You people might have studied. Am I right? I think you people have studied constructor. What is constructor? Anyone please stand up and say. I expect that from you people. Stand up and say whether it is right or wrong. Stand up. Please. Stand up and say. Creates an object. Instead of saying that it creates an object, instantiating during the creation, the constructor is called. You can say it like that. During the creation of object, it's called. Okay? And init is similar to the constructor. When you place that servlet file, when you place the servlet class into the web container, the init method will be called. Okay? The init method will be called. If you want to see, many times you are hitting it, na? Many times you are hitting the request, login. Many times you are logging into the email address. After username password, click login. Now the request goes to Google server. Okay? The Google server has a server. Imagine like that. The Google server has a servlet program which has a service method which receives your HTTP servlet request and generates HTTP servlet response. Then the browser receives it. Straightforward. Then when the destroy method will be called? Destroy. When the application is shut down. When the application is shut down, the destroy method is called. That is a rare case. That time most of the cleanup of memory, all those stuff will be done. Cleanup of memory. See, what is the purpose of destructor? Destructor. All are murmuring. I don't hear a single word, a single voice. Anyone please stand up and say, what is destructor? We will relate it. Stand up and say, when are you going to develop your skills? These are all the skills. When you go to IT industry, you should shine. You should not have the fear to talk to others. We should not have the fear to talk to others. Convey it in a right way. Convey it in a right way. Okay? So what is the destructor? How you relate the destructor with the destroy? Destructor, please. I continue with the knowledge, thought that you know about the destructor. Or else I need to teach you the destructor, then come to the destroy. Destroying an object. Okay. Actually here, the destroy, init service destroy, is not destroying an object. During the object killing, that method will be called. It's like finally. Finally, try catch finally. Aware of that, no? Like the finally is a mandatory one. Whenever exception comes, irrespective of exception, the finally will be executed. Likewise, The destroy will be called at the time of the object shutting down. The class is shutting down. The web application is shutting down. What operation can be done? Like, see, in init method, the connection configurations, all those stuffs will be loaded. Init configuration, the connection, all those stuffs will be loaded. At the time of destroy, memory cleanup, connections, unwantedly something is running on the thread, those things will be killed. Otherwise, those threads will be running, those process or threads will be running unwantedly. You understand? See, my ultimate aim is you have to understand all the concepts. Don't shake your heads. If you have any queries, please rise up. I am going from the ground. It's a web application, web technology is an ocean. Now we reach the Himalaya height. These are all the very essential things. If you forget it, it is very difficult to proceed. Okay? So init service destroy, you understand? Fine. So in servlet, the init service destroy, all those things need to be written by the developer. But in case of going into the JSP, if we go to the JSP, it is like an HTML kind of page. We will be right. Everybody aware of HTML, right? We will create an HTML page. We will create an HTML page. There we will put a tags, JSP tags, JSP tags. Okay? Those tags in turn will be converted into init, service and destroy by the web container. By the web container. So they introduced the programmers, they introduce a new way of doing a program. No need to write service method, init method, destroy. Straight away you type the code on the HTML. It will be internally converted into init service destroy. Okay? I'm sorry about that. I don't have a board privilege to explain all the codings here. I thought of writing so many things. Not possible now. So you understand the concept, right? Okay? One second. In servlets, any queries? And JSPs, any queries? Any queries, please? Take down notes if possible. Take down notes here. That is very important. Java server pages. What is the difference between servlet and JSPs? A servlet will contain the lifecycle init service destroy. That will be generated at the time of, in JSPs, automatically the lifecycle methods will be generated accordingly. Okay? So if you see that various, what is it? It's a level of web applications. Java server pages, standard tag libraries, Java server pages, Java servlets, Java server faces. What is Java server faces? JSF. One level advance. Now the technology is growing from the down level. Servlet, JSP, JSF, JSTL, JSTL. Any idea of JSTL? Okay. See, in a JSP, I have a JSP. In JSP, how will I write? In an HTML page, there are three elements, important elements in JSP. There are three important elements in JSP. Scriptlet, declaration, expression. Scriptlet, declaration, expression. Now we are going to relate it to the lifecycle method. All are interrelated. So, the expression is nothing but a out.println, output object. Expression is nothing but a sysout. What is sysout? System.out.println. Likewise, if you want to show anything on the JSP, you have to put expression out.println. Out is an implicit object. Out is an implicit object. How will you write the scriptlet? Any idea? Percentage equal to. That is the expression. Percentage is a scriptlet. Percentage equal to some object value or some string. It will be displayed on your monitor or displayed on your JSP. Okay? If you write open bracket percentage some programming logic open bracket less than operator percentage some programming language percentage close, then it will be considered as service method. That part will be included with the service method. In Servlet, how will we write that? Manually we will write the code, service method, right? Here, when you write the content inside that scriptlets, it will be included in the service method, right? I don't have a notebook or marker to explain you. Really sorry about that. It's okay, fine. I asked the permission, they told I should not write on the walls also. Board it is difficult to bring in. I asked all those stuff. Fine. You learn all the concepts theoretically now. You'll see all those stuff. Marker. Yeah, marker, I don't write it over here on the wall. Percentage, think about it. Percentage equal to some variable. Percentage equal to some variable in the sense that is expression. Expression will be printed on the JSP output. Near percentage, some logic percentage in the sense it is a scriptlet. Scriptlet is nothing but script. Java, we are writing some logic we are writing. That will be included inside the service method. That will be included inside the service method. Okay? Then, what is init method? We saw about service method. How they, any curiosity? What is the init method? Declaration. Declaration is nothing but a init method. Whatever the content we are writing inside the declaration, like question mark equal to, sorry, not question mark, exclamatory mark equal to. See, all are operators. Based on operator, the container will identify and put it into the methods accordingly. If it starts with question mark equal to, then sorry, exclamatory equal to, then it is identified as declaration. Then declaration part will be included inside the init method. Then scriptlet means service method. Three important elements. If you write it manually, it will be converted automatically by the container. Understand? Okay. Okay, before going into that, what is JSTL? Tag libraries. What is tag libraries? Tag library is nothing but a Java program. I am writing a Java program separately to do some operations. Some mathematical calculation. I have written a piece of code, okay, that I want to include inside my JSP. Okay, how I can do this sense? Include JSP colon. There are some of the tags are that we will discuss all those steps. Okay. JSP colon include is a tag. Through that I can include any of the JSP, another JSP fields. Or in the header part, if I include something, the class will be included. Import something, that will be included. But these are all a compile time. At runtime, based on the execution, the page is executing 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. 4 parts are there in a page. 1, 2, 3 it executes. Based on the output of 3, the 4 should be executed. In that case, I am writing a tag libraries. It will be called as TLDs, tag libraries. The tag libraries will be incorporated within the JSP, based on the output of statement 3, the object will be passed into the TLDs. The output of 3 will be passed into the TLD as an object. Okay? The TLD must have the capability of reacting to the dynamic objects. Okay? The TLD name should have the capability of identifying dynamic objects. One second. See, now you leave about that TLDs now. These are a bit high level. Now we will come to the basic configuration. How the configuration will be in servlet. Okay? Everybody aware of scriptlets and the lifecycle methods? Any queries? Any queries? What is the servlet lifecycle? Servlet lifecycle. Stand up and say please. Init, destroy and service. What is init? What is init? Stand up and say anyone please. Initiation. Thank you. What is service? What is service? Okay, fine. That's good. What is destroy? Sorry, stand up. Anyone please. Stand up and say please. Killing the object. It's not killing the object. Sorry? Stand. Anyone? It is called at the time of application shutdown. Exactly. So it is not a killing of object. I can do any operation at the time of destruction. It is not only killing of object. I can nullify it or I can redirect to some other application also in the destroy. It is my decision at the destroy part. I am not only going to killing it. Okay? I am deploying it. While I am doing the deployment, I am invoking another listeners. I am triggering another operation. That also I can do that. That is my wish. Okay? It will be called or invoked at the time of shadowing of application or ramp. So, we discussed theoretically the servlets. Okay? We need to know about some of the servlet configuration, how the file should be. Okay? Before going into the architecture, you need to know how the architecture will be there. Yet, if you want to develop a servlet application, if you want to develop a web application, it is simple. I want to make you simple on these things. You create a folder, put two folders inside that. One folder, application folder, into that, one web apps folder, another application folder. See, one application name is assembly root. Okay? Inside that, web folder is there. Inside that, lib folder is there, classes folder is there, and web.xml is there, tags is there. Everyone are able to see that? All are able to view it? This is very important for the web application. Please. If you don't understand, please ask me once again. I'll share this PPT to you. If complex things don't take it up, I'll share it to you. Okay? A web application should have a root folder. And it should contain a web-inf folder. Okay? Inside that, web.xml should be there. Web.xml should be there. And another two folders should be there. Like lib and classes. Optionally SRC. Nowhere we will keep the source. SRC folder is for keeping the source file. Classes file is used to put the compiled class files. Understand? Any queries? Library is used to put the jar files. Jar files. Any idea of jar files? Anybody don't know about jar files? Anybody not aware of jar files? Okay. Java archives. Java archives. What is archive? You need to know all those things. Java archive is nothing but I have set up classes. I have a number of thousands of classes I have. Those classes need to be imported or need to be accessed by any other class. Or some component class I have created, components I have created. Those components need to be archived. Or see what will be is it in WinRAR or WinZip, we are archiving the file. Okay? Likewise, those class files will be archived into one jar. That will be deployed into that will be put into the library folder. That will be put into the library folder. Those files and those class files will be read by the servlets. Servlets or any program you write inside the another classes folder. Library will be accessed by all the classes inside the classes folder. There is a folder called classes, right? There you will put your class. There you will put your class and you will write, you will keep all the library files, jar files inside the folder. Then why we need that library folder? Servlet will be running based on JavaX extended package. Okay? Those extended packages will be available in servlet jar. Servlet jar. Unless and until you keep that servlet jar inside your library folder, that HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response will not be available through your classes. No class definition found or class not found exception will be thrown. Okay? This is a common one, you know. Class not found exception. What is class not found exception? So one small tricky question. What is class not found exception and no class def found exception? Tell me. You understand about the servlet jar now? No? Servlet jar contains set of servlet related classes, default classes like servlet, HTTP servlet request, response, session, cookie. All those necessary classes, component classes will be available inside the servlet jar. Those jars need to be kept inside the lib. That will be accessed by the classes. Am I right? Any query on it? Any queries, please rise. Okay? Once if I write a sample servlet and keep inside the classes folder and I keep the servlet jar inside the library, and now we come to the web.xml. What is web.xml? We saw about classes library. What is web.xml? It is an XML configuration, not only the library files, all the servlets what we write will be specified inside the web.xml. We will specify all the servlets inside the web.xml. Why we are writing it? I don't have any job to write it. Why we are writing it? Ask, always keep on asking questions. It may be a nonsense. Then only you will come to know the right answer for the nonsense. So what is web.xml? Web.xml is a deployment descriptor which will be read by the web container. Yeah, web.xml is a deployment descriptor which will be read by the web container. Okay? So, web.xml contains all the classes definitions, all the servlet class definitions. You will see that. See, there are two tags are there. Servlet mapping. Okay? See, whatever I told in the beginning, that will be integrated with this. What is integration? I am not asking the mathematical integration. What are the small chunks? It is a programming jargon, integration. Don't think anything is silly. Everything is important. Like this, we have written a simple Java class, that is a servlet class, that will be specified under the servlet tag. There are two tags are important. One is servlet and servlet mapping. So the servlet, whenever I am sending a www.facebook.com, the facebook.com will be mentioned inside the URL pattern. It reaches the URL pattern. The URL pattern, whatever it is matched, that will be checked by servlet name. Here my URL will be hitting and it will find out the name and it will try to relate to any one of the servlet names. It may have multiple servlet names. Servlet name class, servlet name class, servlet name class. Multiple servlet names will be there. For login one servlet, fetch client information, update client information. So you are writing n number of servlets. So n number of servlet tags will be available. Understand? Any queries? Now you can identify the real-time example. When you type the Flipkart, it goes to URL pattern. From the URL pattern, servlet name will be there. From the servlet name, it again searches the servlet. Set of servlets are there now. From the set of servlets, it identifies what servlet it belongs to the URL pattern. Then it fetches the servlet name. From the servlet name, the servlet class. This is the ultimate class you write. You keep the class name, right? Inside the class folder, classes. Inside the classes, you write something. The class name should be available. The flow will be like, it reaches here, it identifies the servlet name. The servlet name will be mapped with this one. Then it identifies the class. Then the class will contain HTTP servlet request. Based on the request, it processes the operation in the service method. Then it generates the response. Clear? Now we integrated all the concepts. We type some URL, send the HTTP request to the web container or server. Okay? Then it identifies the URL pattern, servlet name will be mapped with the servlet tag, and servlet class will be identified. It goes to the service method, appropriate servlet name, goes to the service method, generates the operation and returns response. How should be the URL? I forgot to tell you. How should be the URL? The URL should be start with the protocol name, followed by the IP address. Followed by the IP address, followed by the port, followed by the application name, followed by the module name, followed by the appropriate servlet name. Initially, the server. For example, in this PC, my application is running. Okay? This PC, my web application is running. Okay? You can take it as a challenge, and today itself you can go and make a sample web application and run it, or take the help from your professors. The first part will be a protocol. First part is a protocol, HTTP or HTTPS. Then : IP address, machine IP address, 10.20. something, etc. Okay? : port. The port is very much important. Based on the port only, it identifies a device or particular server. Usually 8000. 8000 based on server, the port will be available. You have to configure when you are deploying, when you are making ready the server, installing the server, it will ask to enter the port 8000, 8080. Usually 8080 will be available. 9080. You can change the port of the server.xml. Those things will come to later. Okay. So the port name, IP port. Then when you are giving the IP and port, it identifies the inner LAN network. In a LAN or in the wide area network, it identifies this particular machine with the IP. IP, it identifies a machine. In this machine, a number of applications will be running. Whether it is a web server, or application server, or a database server, every server will be having a unique port. Unique port. Okay. Now it identifies the particular application also, server also, web container also it identifies. Inside the web container, I need to know my application. That will be identified by my name, application name. So assembly root, for example, take any name. Assembly root is my application name. So this is the root folder. This is the root folder, followed by these steps. Now leave about this. This is the root folder. So HTTP, IP address, followed by port, followed by assembly root. Now in this machine with the port 80IT, it searches for a particular application in the server called assembly root. Okay? Now it identifies the application now. At last, what I need to give? I need to give the particular sublet name. Okay? The sublet name. What would be my sublet? Salary calculation. For example, I have written a code for salary calculation or login. So login is a sublet name. Or a salary calculation is a sublet name with some extension. So I have written URL pattern. At the last you have to write a URL pattern. Application name, sublet name. You have written. That is the URL pattern. The sublet name will be considered as a URL pattern. The URL pattern is what coming here. Followed by the application, the URL pattern should be given. For example, sample.sublet. Sample.sublet, if you give, the URL pattern will map all those things. Yeah? And sublet name. Accordingly, the sublet name will be mapped. Samples. For example, sample, if you give, the sample will be mapped with this one. With this URL pattern, what you have given, that will be mapped. At last, the class name for that login operation. For example, login is the one. Login is ultimate operation. That will be mapped with a sample tag. The sample tag is nothing but a URL pattern. What are required? First is protocol, IP address, port, followed by application number, URL pattern. If you will be accessing your servlet. You will be accessing your servlet. So your web application is ready now. You can deploy it. It is not a joke. You can deploy it. You can buy a global IP. It's a public IP. So many providers are there to provide it. You can deploy it. But you should be very careful on accessing it. All the piracies, all the policies need to be supported. Any problem on the public network, you are responsible. Cybercrime is very, very strict. No escape from it. So, play responsibly on web. Understand, right? Because we are here to develop our nation. So, play responsibly. Everything should be in the constructive way. Okay? So, any queries from the basic construction of the web application? Any queries? From the lib classes, all the steps, protocol, service method. If you have any queries right now, you ask. Web services. Exactly. Good. going into the web services, we will discuss about web services first. Okay. Now the basic idea about the programming you identify, understand, right? Sorry, any queries, ma'am? Web server. No. Anything you ask me. Web services, you have the code. Web services is nothing but a universally identified programming language. Universally identified programming language or XML based response. A service will generate a XML based response which will accept XML request and generates a XML response. So why we go to the XML? Any queries? Now we have a beautiful technology called Java and servlets, JSPs, struts. Then why should we go to the XML based one? The reason behind this, for executing, for accessing a Java application, bare minimum I should have a JVM on the machine. If I want to consume a XML based application, I need only a browser. Leave about the browser all configurations. Universally, one application may not have the capability of identifying my Java based response. I am giving the objects in the form of HTTP servlet response. HTTP servlet response. Again, it is dependent on Java. Again, it is dependent on Java. To overcome it, if I give in the format of XML, XML can be read by any of the machines, any of the languages. You can access in .NET, a service is running in Java or any other platform which can be accessed by any of the programming language which has the capability of identifying XML. Understood? You are clear? A programming language which has the capability of understanding XML parsing can access web services. Web services is nothing but a Java program, Java based or any language based program which has the capability of receiving XML input and generating XML output. Internally, after receiving the request, it will be processed by its programming language, Java programming language. In my case, we have used Java language for developing web services. Now it is number one in the market. Don't ever think that you are IT background people like this. So CS, right? CS, IT. Be proud that you are IT students. Always you have a good market. Don't go the blind thought that the market is down. Always the market is up. It is a fate of the world that they have to believe on IT. It's a truth. It's a truth. Because anywhere, if we go, any other construction company, they need a IT device, web-based. Without Flipkart, the world is not running. So, web services is nothing but a XML-based request handling. Outline you learn it because it's a big story. If you want to explain it, it will take a whole day. You will have a separate session on it. Okay? What is the advantage of web services now? Which has the capability of XML-based parsing. So any system which has a capability, any system will recognize XML, right? Any system will recognize XML. One system may not have the capability of identifying Java, but it may understand XML. So it will success. Now one more knowledge I feed into you, one more seed I feed into your mind. JSON objects. Yeah, search in net. So many things we are searching in net unnecessarily. So usefully search in JSON. The service can be accessed, web service can be accessed in two ways. One as a XML based, another one as a JSON objects. JSON. These are the things you will come to know after entering into the industry, unless and until you get the good project. That also important. So learn as much as when the sessions are coming. So the code I cannot teach now. The code I cannot teach now because I don't have enough time to teach all those stuff. The outline I can give you. Java Beans. Java Beans is nothing but simple terms if you say. It's a getters and setters. Getters and setters. Getters and setters in the sense it is useful for navigating the objects, navigating the value from one object to another object. For example, in service method, I am hitting the service, servlet, I am hitting it, and I am having all my values, input values in the HTTP request object. The values will be available in the HTTP request object. Those values, I need to carry out, I need to bring it to the database. I need to bring it to the, so those values I need to bring it to the database. So the request object cannot be directly bring it to the database. So I will segregate into various values. The values need to be request.get parameter, request.get attribute. Likewise, the values need to be getter, and I will set it in the Java Beans, setters and getters, or transmission objects. Username means set username, get username. Two methods will be there. Set username, get username. Set password, get password. Those values will be, those methods will be available. That is called as beans. Those beans will be sent as a one single object to the DAO layer. DAO layer, data access objects. So the web programming can be the architecture, like merely within the service method itself, you can write the whole logic. The service method itself, you can write the whole logic. That is wrong. Again, the architecture comes into picture. The architecture comes into picture. The architecture, how it should be, right? The request hits the service. Am I right? Request hits the service. From the request, I am storing those values inside the beans. Java beans. Those bean object alone will be sent into the business layer. The layer will be classified into three parts. Model layer, controller layer, business layer. Model layer, controller layer, business layer. This is called MVC. Thanks to you, because I would have forgot that concept itself. The MVC. Model, view, controller. The view is nothing but a display part. Display or all the JSPs will be available. All the JSPs will be available. So in the display part, if you see the structure, there is a JSP tag will be available. Classes, lib and JSP was available. Classes, lib, JSP was available. JSP is called as view. View layer. It is called as view. Then what is model? Model is nothing but a central controller. What is a controller and model? View, model, controller. Then what is a model? Model is a business logic. Business logic. The business logic will, you may not understand all those things. Controller. First you keep model, view, controller. Three components are available. Model, view, controller. Model is nothing but a business logic. View is nothing but a UI. UI in the sense user interface. JSPs or any UI. TIPCO, GI or anything you keep. That will simply receive the response and display it in the screen. That is view layer. Controller. Controller is a vital part. Controller is a vital part. For example, in this application, web.xml is a controller. Web.xml is a controller. Why? Because the request directly hits the XML. The XML is a controller. From the XML, it goes to the service. service method. Am I right? From the XML, it identifies the servlet and goes to the service method. So till the service method is called as controller. Till the service method is called as controller. From the controller, I already told you that within one program itself, I could have written my whole logic. I can write my whole logic. That is wrong. I have to segregate my logics into various layers. You could have studied subroutines, functions. It is a wrong practice of writing whole statement in a single program. It is a wrong practice. All the logic should not be written inside the same program. It should be splitted into various logics and chunks. What is the usage of function then? Splitting of functions. Reusability. Reusability. If I split one logic into one function and keep in another class, that same logic may be used in another class. So I need not to write the code again. Just I will create the object to that and call that function. It will be accessed. Am I right? Likewise, the same logics, the same routine operations, I will create a class and methods and class. I will keep it in a different layer called model layer. There only the request what is sent to the model layer will be processed by its business logic and the response will be sent to the service method. Again, the request comes to the service, till the service it stops. From the service method, service method, I am calling another layer called model. Model is nothing but a customized, our own Java program which has the capability of reading the request and process the business logic. Processing the business logic. Anything, whatever based on your need, whatever you have written, that will be processed and response will be sent to service method. From the service method you are calling the model layer. From the model layer, the business logic output will be sent back to the service method. Again the service method to view layer. Now you understand the model view controller? Definitely guys, once if you people are hands-on experience in these concepts, you are number one in the market. But practically, whatever I taught you, practically you should understand and you have to do all the work. You have to write the code. See, you have more than 1 year now, I hope so. In 1 year, if you practice well all those concepts, you are the number one. In the campus interview also, boldly you can say, I know these concepts. You will be number one. You will be identified, you will be distinguishedly identified. If you say that I know web services in the market, there are so many openings. So, I want to integrate the code. So, when you are navigating the value from service to model layer, right? Service to model layer. You are not sending the HTTP request object into the model layer. You will set all those values into the bean, Java bean. Java bean is nothing but a POJO class. They will call POJO class, plain old Java object. It contains setters and methods. And you will set those values. You will create object for a particular POJO. For example, navigate POJO. Navigate POJO. You keep like navigate POJO, just it will navigate the username and password to the model layer. So navigate POJO will contain getter and setter methods of username and password. So create object for new navigate POJO object obj.set username, obj.set password. Then you have to send the obj to DAO or model layer. From the model layer, you will be accessing obj.get username, obj.get password. Easy, right? Likewise, it can be sent across anywhere. Getters and setters. Search, take down the hint and search in net. You will get all answers. Okay? That is the advantage of beans. Beans, simply, beans, how will be the, you relate it to the beans, how will be the beans? It will have grains inside that, na? Grains. Likewise, you are keeping all the values in a simple chunks. Set us, get us. Then you make it as a wrapper called class name beans. Understand, right? Any questions so far? If you ask only, I can explain a lot. There are so many things are the technologies. It's an ocean, I would say. Session, okay. New topics, context, okay. Before that, the theoretically so many things are there. If you like, I will explain. Context param. What is context param? Context param. Init param, context param. Init param will be loaded when the servlet is loaded. When the servlet is loaded. Context param will be available throughout the servlets. These are all theoretical. You have to understand. No other way. Init param is respect to a particular servlet. Init param is corresponding to a particular servlet. What is init param? Initialization parameter. Initialization parameter. When the servlet is initialized, that time the parameter will be invoked. Init method we discussed, right? Mostly the init method, the init parameter will be called. From the init method, the init parameter will be called. Right? Am I right? Context param. What is the advantage of then context param? The context param is common for all the servers. Context param is common for all the servers. Servlet. For example, I am writing one servlet in a big web application. In a big web application, I am writing one servlet, you are writing one servlet, he is writing one servlet. But the database connection is common for all. Am I right? Database connection is common for all. That is, the common parameters to all the application will be kept under the context param. The context will be shared by all the servers. Example is database connections. The database connection is common for all the servers. Okay, leave about the subject now. One suggestion I will say. Here I can see some of the blank faces. We are not much interacting. Why? The reason behind that is we are very much concerned about our present and future. Past and future. We are very much concerned about our past and future. Once if you try to concentrate on past and future, you cannot concentrate on the present. That is the reason we are not securing more marks. Marks is not at all a matter I will never consider about. We are not concentrating on classes. Next class I have not written my classwork or homework. What I am going to reply. That will run into your mind for 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, yes, you would have completed one topic. Next you will try to concentrate on another topic you will be going on. That will definitely you cannot capture it. Then that is a pressure. 10 minutes gone. Another 5 minutes you will be asking question. You will go to another deep tension. So likewise the whole hour you will not concentrate. Next hour you will be thinking about the past hour. You would have given some more assignment or you would have scolded. Second hour you will also scold you. Likewise the whole career will be going on like this. So always concentrate on the present. Whatever you don't know, genuinely, honestly, raise your hands. In that hour, if you don't like, somehow you learn it. Otherwise, it's very difficult to succeed or it is very difficult to learn anything. It is my practical experience. Okay. Anybody who thinks himself, I am not fit for this, I am not capable for this, is wrong. Everybody are capable at any moment. Who is at the edge of the exam also, he is capable. If he is failed in the exam, next exam he will definitely, he can do it if he wishes. So always concentrate on present. be here. Next star, if he is going to scold, means scold. Let it be. But I need to concentrate. This is important to me. But you should be prepared yourself also. Without ABCD, you cannot learn. So always, that's what, the present, there you have to complete the things. Likewise, without knowing the basics of web applications, it is very difficult to learn the web services. So, if you want to learn the web services, you should be present. Presently, you have to understand all the essentials. Today, I know that I have given so many ideas, so many things. I have feeded a lot. I think most of them, some of them might have captured it quickly, most of them may not have. But take down the hints and search it and sit and do all analysis and R&D. You will come to know all are very useful. And keep the practice of be present. Attention. Next star, this punishment is going to come, let it come. Grow yourself as a professional. Say the genuine reason. Once if you get the excuse, complete it quickly. On time, in time. Don't waste the time on bullshit things and past. Think about bright in future. Future means it should be a useful one and useful and bright for your career. Always. It's a competitive, highly competitive world. Okay? Any queries from the web application? Any queries? So far? I think you understand the concept. With that, I'm winding up. Thanks a lot.